Welcome to NBNR, the authority on unfiltered opinions and authentic player insight for Nebraska athletics. Connect with us on Twitter, Instagram, and at NBNRpodcast.com.
We have the saying, no block, no rock.
You know, we just really love Utter. He's a junkyard dog.
Kenny Bell ran up to me. He's like, you know what you just did?
You get mad when you going to get in the portal and go to another podcast?
You know, usually dumbbells are in pairs. They had 5 dumbbells.
Dang on it, Muhammad!
GBR.
Go Big Red indeed. No Block, No Rock. Season 3, Episode 3. 5 days out. It is game week, fellas.
Let's fucking go.
Finally.
My God. We're freaking here.
Can you believe that we've been, like, talking for how many weeks?
Blah, 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 blah.
Just the fact that we made it through the offseason with like topics to talk about every single week. Half the time we're just up here talking bullshit. Like,
And now it's here.
To be fair, the Nebraska program did not give us any shortage of headlines during the
true.
offseason.
Yeah. I mean, Scott Frost was very good at keeping things juicy for us. But it is finally time to turn the page to real football, our
Thank
favorite
God.
time of the year. But before we get started, we have some exciting news.
Go on now.
Jared, you want to drop that shit?
Sure. Heard that Sports. We are now a proud partner. I was going to say affiliate, trying to make it fancy, but we have officially partnered with Heard at Sports. And like, we're so excited for this opportunity. Like, they have, resources that we can tap into and take advantage of and hopefully get our name out there, get sponsors that want to hook up with us and, we can help them out too. Like, it's just an awesome opportunity that we're really looking forward to. So
yeah, we're bringing on a little bit of formality to NBNR. You know what I mean? Like an organization that can kind of rep us a little bit.
we're
So,
serious
yeah.
now, okay?
Yeah.
Right. And
We
we dropped this video. Kyle made an awesome video. If you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. It's on all of our social pages. Dropped this awesome video announcing that. We just kind of slipped it in there a little bit. We slipped it in and, everything. I mean, to sum it up for you, if you don't want to go watch it, is all of that is because of you. So,
Yeah.
I mean, none of this is possible without you guys. And we are so excited for football season to actually have some real topics to talk about, to give you those real reactions and the reasons that you actually listen to us. Those raw reactions after games, they're going to be fun.
I would say we're officially Big J journalists now.
Yeah.
Big
Oh,
J's.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The thing that I would always say I wasn't ever going to be. I'm never going to be that journalist guy who we don't need to parse our words here, but we are never going to do that here.
No,
at
no,
Rock,
absolutely not.
Damn it.
No, you're always going to get that real shit from us.
The
And-
content will never change.
Right.
And credit to Herdat, when we met with them, they said the last thing that we want you to do is change what you do. And we're like, game on, baby.
Yep, let's do it.
Yeah, let's roll.
Hey.
Just give us some money. Then we'll figure it out from there. Okay, guys, we are, as always, or I should say most of the time,
Most of the time.
at Nebraska Brewing Company's Tap Room, 108th and Harrison in La Vista, Nebraska. I myself, drinking a Taco Veza. Kyle, the old reliable for you as well.
The old reliable. Cheers in the air.
Indeed.
Taco Vesa.
They can all see this.
And
Everyone on the mic.
I'm running low already, so we're gonna have to kind of wrap up this little first segment, because I'm getting thirsty.
It's going to be a long day.
Yeah.
Mike, you guys just relax with these freaking beers, man. I know they're good, but Mike, what you drinking, man?
I'm drinking that Cow Tipper.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
That cream ale.
That cream ale.
One of the newest.
Yeah, the newest beer on tap at Nebraska Brewing Company. And I'll tell you what, I had it last week. Cooper James was on, was talking about tipping cows and everything. And I came in here and I was like, I need it again. Actually, I came yesterday to the Veterans Walk.
The 50-mile march.
The 50-mile march.
yeah.
I came here yesterday because I needed some more Cow Tipper. And guess what? We're back again. More Cow Tipper. Great beer. You got to come here and try it.
I do just want to point out, you've mentioned Cooper James and the cow tipping stories and everything like that. That man didn't go cow tipping just once.
3 times.
Just twice. He went 3 fucking times. How many people do you know have ever been cow tipping 3 times in their life?
Very few.
Yeah.
I also want to point out really quickly that while we sit here looking at each other's beers, all of us have been enjoying our pints. Like, there's never been a bad beer that's come out of here. That I'm a little bit biased. But I do want to point out, do you realize how big Mike's glass is there?
Yeah.
That
I
isn't
don't know.
a pint.
I don't know why he always gets the big glass and we're over here getting 4 refills.
This is the first time.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm
Mike,
just making sure.
Mike immediately grabbed the big glass and was like, yeah, fill that bad boy up.
I was like, I need some fucking cow temper in my life. I came here yesterday and paid for it out of my pocket. So I was making sure I got my full fill
That's
tonight.
fair, man. Wait, hey, look, I'm not hating you. You do you, bro.
Yeah.
I love it.
You know, tip that cow over.
Absolutely.
Damn, boy. Okay, now before we get into our guest here, just so our listeners know, we were able to get a Northwestern writer. Her name is Sarah Effress. She is a writer contributor for the SB Nation affiliate InsideNU. So she will be coming on in a little bit. But before we do that, let's just banter a little bit about some of the things that have come out. Well, first of all, let's just say it's not a huge surprise that Garrett Nelson, Caleb Tanner, Charles Vokalek, Nick Henrich have all been named captains. I do like how 3 of the 4 are defenders. I think that's my personal preference. I
They
like
earned that.
They,
for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They've carried their weight for sure.
Absolutely.
Now,
Plus some.
yeah, they've been the strength of the team overall since Frost took over. So hats off to them. Pukegate.
Pukegate.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to
Do
like
it.
beat this dead horse because
Just
I'm
go.
telling you, this shit has gone on for far too long this week.
Go on now. It's just,
How ignorant do you have to be to think that was an actual statement by Scott Frost?
well, okay, so for myself, right? Anytime Scott says something,
Oh, gosh.
anytime, like it could be the most minute thing, or hey, we will be the first ones to tell you listeners that Scott Frost has said dumb shit in the past.
Weird.
And
Really?
look, if you want to get technical with this thing, was his quote like stupid? I mean, yeah.
Yes.
Because it was, you know how college football is now, not just football, but just like our society and all that shit. And
Cancel culture.
he's obviously exaggerating. Like it's just Frost kind of saying things that is just gonna ignite the fire
So,
a little bit when it's not necessary. But yes, we need a game, please.
Yeah, he felt comfortable sitting in that chair, just having a conversation with somebody, and that's just who he is. Like, I don't.
Yeah, you're not gonna change the guy.
Kyle, I agree with you saying that you have to be absolutely ignorant to believe that statement is, 100% true. But like, from the other end, let's say it was true. If we're getting 10 to 15 pukes of practice, how shitty are we? Like, what is the conditioning?
Well, dude,
why would we be there?
if they
why
keep-
would we be in that situation?
If they're puking that much,
That's conditioning.
they're not even playing football at that point.
Yeah.
Like you're just doing puke practice.
yeah.
Well, I love how when he said the stupid comment, it's literally an exaggeration, but
Sure.
Yeah.
he says the comment and then he's like, and it's not from conditioning. But that's how hard we're working. I think it comes down to this. Scott Frost, he's a very competitive, fiery guy, and he's just excited to play some fucking football. He's tired of all the noise because, believe it or not, he hears it, he feels the pressure, and he just wants to get out there and try to shut up the people that are talking shit.
Yeah.
To his credit, though, I don't think there's a single person that's listening to this podcast, not even just the guys at the table, that aren't excited for some football.
Oh,
I
God.
think, like, I'm shaking in my seat right now. Like, I am ready.
This episode is going to be so awesome because people get to hear from a person who actually covers from the opponent we're playing, and that's going to be a regular thing here. And then not only that, we are going to say our season previews, our record predictions, and everything. This is going to be a fun-packed episode. We walked in and they're like, Mike, are you ready? And I was like, oh, I'm ready. I got my gloves on. We're good.
He's literally wearing receiver gloves.
He's like
The boxing gloves. I'm ready to fucking knock you bitches out.
Yeah, Connor was shaking, and now he just pissed himself.
Okay, technically that happened earlier, but it counts.
Yeah, we're just gonna do like a quick run through of all the games, and we'll just do a quick WL like
Mhm.
win loss. We're not gonna do exact scores or nothing like that. Just kind of our basic instinct. You hear an opponent's name and you go win, loss, tie.
Tie.
Oh, God.
There's no ties, man. You get the one possession and the
There's
overtime,
a-
all that stupid shit now.
Are,
Yeah.
are we going to break, what's the record right now, 12 overtimes? Are we
Well,
going to go for
that'll
13
never-
this year?
That's
Nebraska, Iowa, 13 overtimes. Iowa wins by a field goal.
Yeah, because what game was that last year? Penn State and Illinois, right?
Yep.
That just went on forever, and I loved it. I loved every fucking minute of it. Like everybody's like complaining.
It was incredible.
What is this? This isn't football.
They don't want the stupid like
Everybody
2-point
wants
conversion shit or whatever. They changed that stupid rule.
Yeah.
So it's not like actually overtime anymore.
Everybody
So I
wants
get
the
what they're
money
saying.
shot, but doesn't want to see how it happens.
And you open up wide.
Jesus, we're keeping that in. Okay. So guys, I also think, I think we got to talk about Cam Jurgens, don't we?
Yeah.
The dude,
Oh yeah.
When he got drafted, the talent was undeniable.
Yeah.
As soon as the snaps were figured out, dude was a fucking monster. And you're seeing these clips of him in run blocking, and it's like, wait, is he the running back or is he the center? Which one is he?
Right.
But yeah, man, he's freaking hitting the second level, and he looks amazing, man.
Hey, we said that he was the best lineman on our shitty team last year, and I mean he's showing out. I mean, there's a reason they took him. They might have stretched in the second round, but they took him early, handpicked by probably a future Hall of Famer in Jason Kelsey. So it's just one of those things. They saw the talent. We saw it too here at Nebraska, and now he's getting the right coaches. He's going to learn the right scheme that is going to work with him. It's funny too because he was a Greg Austin guy, and he might get a little flack just in general with just his coaching philosophies.
Sure.
And now he has that NFL coaching to help him,
And the institution.
and Jason Kelsey on top of it.
Right.
No, yeah, exactly. I think, frankly, I had my doubts on whether he would, really transfer up to that higher level and do it well. But I mean, you see the praise from these veterans that he's getting all around. It's just been incredible. Like everyone has been they're riding high on him, and you just love to see Huskers moving into the next level and succeeding, and seeing everyone around them say like, holy shit, like this guy is the real deal.
Yeah.
And the thing that gets lost in this is who is the guy who identified that?
Scott
It was
Frost.
Scott Frost. He's
Remington.
He said Remington, and we all said, "Oh boy, here we go with him saying dumb shit again." And yeah, maybe Remington might have been a little hyperbole, of
Maybe.
course. He tends to exaggerate, as you all know.
He pukes a lot.
When
But it's like, give credit where credit's due, man. Frost saw it, and now what? I mean, I'm gonna do over under 5 Pro Bowls. I mean,
I'm gonna say under right now.
I'm gonna take the under
but
as well.
that's fine.
I want to see him start some games. As long as he gets in games and he can start shining, we'll see.
I'm going over.
Thank you.
He's
Oh,
going
there it is.
over.
You guys can't see it. Kyle is actually not drinking a beer right now. It is just a pitcher of Kool-Aid.
Get the fuck out.
Pure, unbridled.
No.
enthusiasm.
It's beer in the NFL. I'm over here drinking a big old pitcher of beer in the NFL.
Big facts.
I'm going to put, and I'm being like, because I know he's talented, I know he can do it, I'm going to put him at 3 Pro Bowls. And I think
Okay.
that's like a very reasonable, like he's clearly got like, there's some time to develop, but I think he's got 3 in him.
I'm gonna just stick with 0 right now until I
Coward.
see him play
Coward.
a game.
Coward.
Hater. Husker hater.
Start a game, and
Mike.
then we can talk.
Mike hates Nebraska. You heard
Yeah.
it here first.
Yes.
Look, man. Yeah. Even if he makes just 3 Pro Bowls, like, damn.
If we make
That's still
a Pro Bowl,
solid, bro.
a Pro Bowl,
3.
get out of here.
Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm usually the one that tries to keep that shit in check.
Yeah.
Kyle,
Yeah, god damn it, Kyle.
over 5.
A,
Okay.
a week of, I can let it all out, maybe.
Wee.
Are we gonna do Scott Frost sliding
Yeah.
on the rail?
Wee.
Yeah.
Perfect transition, Mike. Whee! Okay, I only saw this video 5 minutes ago. Mike was all over this thing. Tell the listeners what's up with him and a freaking rail.
Overreaction alert. Here we go again.
Ah.
All right. Scott Frost is doing something crazy in the media. This
What?
time, he didn't even talk. He slid down the rail of some steps at Memorial Stadium.
How dare he?
People are asking, is he not taking the Northwestern game seriously?
Oh,
Oh
God.
my gosh. If we don't come away with a win in Dublin,
Yeah.
is it because he slid down the rail?
That's just going to be a gif for the rest of our lives.
Oh,
just
yeah.
him sliding down that goddamn rail.
What's worse, like, because obviously he's sliding down the rail, he's going downhill. It's just like, oh, is Nebraska going downhill?
Oh shit! I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, like, there's so much that we can get dunked on for.
Live look at Nebraska tanking.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
Scott Frost
with the
happily sliding down a rail
with the slide whistle.
Oh my god!
It's gonna be the
Oh my god.
the cotton falling over gif, and then Scott Frost sliding on a rail. Nothing in between.
No, look.
I will cry if you're listening to this and you're considering making that gift. Please don't. For my own sanity.
Look, Scott Frost with the puking comment and like the rail when he doesn't think anybody's watching and everything. You can just the dude is just a fucking bro.
He really is.
He is a fucking bro. He's one of the boys. That's it.
That is guys being dudes.
Did you not remember what Cooper said last week when he said Scott Frost did a backflip off of his freaking boat to go swim up with the boys?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
he is everything you want in a head coach. He just needs to win some fucking games.
Yep,
Okay,
exactly.
But hold on, I want to double back on that comment really quick. Where he's everything you want in a head coach,
Well,
but he needs to win games.
Well, look,
my man, number one thing I want in a head coach is to win games.
No, if you look like a jack motherfucker that you could still play.
Yeah.
And
Oh no, he's sick. He
looks the part.
Yeah, he's
but
sick
he
as
doesn't
fuck.
he doesn't win games.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like,
I-
I don't know that like the whole.
I need Frost to be 29-15, try to go over the railing
Yeah.
and land on his ass. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see him land a perfect slide rail if you're 15-29.
Do you think he knew the cameras were looking at him?
Hell no.
No
Honestly,
way.
he had
No
no
way.
idea. Looking at the video, he had no idea.
Okay.
I
I mean,
with his fucking glasses on and shit.
hey, you know what? He's an adult now. This is CEO Scott Frost. CEO Scott Frost wears glasses. Good for him.
But
You know
so
what? You might be right.
let's go overreaction mode for 1 second. Is Scott Frost sliding down that rail and looking very happy? Is that because he's so confident in this team, or is it because like he's just
like
aloof?
Fuck it.
Doesn't
He's just
care?
happy, man. Fucking foot game week, man. Like he's just
So, but is it because he's
Over the
confident
moon.
or he doesn't care?
I just
let's
think
go
that-
total overreaction. Give me your overreaction right now.
I want it to be that he doesn't care because I feel like, and I've said this before, when you're the head coach at Nebraska, you have to have a sense of I don't give a fuckness, because if you start to care too much and you let it get to you, Bo Pelini, you start to see things not. Even if you win games, you kind of burn bridges and spit in refs' faces and shit like that. So I want it to be. I don't give a fuck. I just want to coach some football.
Here's my overreaction.
Love it.
Scott Frost was sliding on that rail because he was squatting so much on leg day that there's no way that he could walk down those stairs because he is a fucking specimen with those fucking weights.
Hey man, I just like seeing him having fun, dude. Like the guy just, there's so much fucking pressure and so much criticism. Fucking game week, he's heading to the bus with the boys. He's like, yo, you know what? Fuck these 6 stairs. I'm taking the rail. Like that's it. That's all it is.
Mike talks about Scott Frost like he's the man of his dreams, not a football coach at Nebraska. I mean, Jesus,
Hey,
specimen,
you should
squats.
It's game week, guys.
Jesus.
We have taken the entire offseason to slander the man that is Scott Frost. This is a joyful week in celebration. I will not say anything negative about him until we talk about our record predictions, all right? I'm just excited, guys.
I mean, in general, the energy around this table. I mean, we're all in a real good fucking mood right now.
Oh,
like
yeah.
we're excited. Like we're
Everyone
all
is
ready
very
to get into
excited
it.
here.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we talk about the wedding, Mike? Your great buddy's wedding.
Okay, shout out to our good friends Samantha and Tobias.
Indeed.
Been friends with them my entire life.
Welcome
And
to the tomb.
They were here at the
And-
live show.
And they did come to the live show to support the pod, and so I just wanted to give them a quick shout out. Jared and I were in the wedding, and Kyle was doing work behind the camera
with his freaking earpiece in, running around.
Yeah. He was showing the KBV or KVP Productions.
Kyle's View Productions.
And it was a good time. I had a few drinks.
A few.
Jared had a few drinks, and that was it.
Shut up.
Based off of the dancing video that I captured of Jared, there were definitely more than a few drinks.
It depends on your definition of a few.
It depends on your definition of dancing.
That too. So shout out to them really quick. But I think it's about time that we bring on our Northwestern writer.
Sarah Effress. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Effress.
All right, guys. We have with us Sarah Effress, writer, contributor for the SB Nation affiliate InsideNU. Now, I did purposefully wear my NU shirt.
Are we gonna battle it out? Battle it out for the NU this week? I think we should name the rivalry. Something like that.
Yeah. So I think the first question that we should ask you is not even coming from this as an opponent of Northwestern.
Mm-hmm.
Just what is your overall perception of Nebraska football?
I mean, I think that you guys have a much more national profile than we do. I would say that.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting because I honestly so I really wasn't that attuned to Big Ten football aside from my whole family raised in Minnesota. So I was a Gopher fan growing up, got into Northwestern.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Gophers.
My dad was like, I don't know what to do. I got him the what's it called? The hat where it was like Northwestern, Minnesota, all that stuff. So coming in to school, I had to get acquainted with all the Big Ten teams, right? And Nebraska was one of them. And I was fortunate to come to school in the 2020 season where Northwestern happened to be really good for some reason. And I always think that, at least from being on the site, I think that our, perception of Nebraska has just been it's just kind of been a fun little, I'm not going to call it a rivalry, but just between the two schools. I just think it's one of the more fun relationships that we have just because of, I think it's just so up and down. Just what happened last year, I don't even want to talk about. But it's always a game where I'm kind of I have no idea what's going to happen. And then you have Scott Frost now, who's just this kind of huge figure nationally at the moment. So I guess, Nebraska is a program that I feel like is always going to be on my radar, kind of as it's on a lot of people's radars. And that's just because, I got to keep up with the Big Ten. It's always going to have, at this point, I don't think Nebraska or anyone's leaving. So it's just going to be that way. But that's just kind of, I think it's just kind of a fun, relationship, at least from my perspective, that we've got with you guys, because I really feel like I never know what to expect. So.
And I think a lot of Husker fans, we take pride in showing up to Ryan Field. Yeah. And this guy travels anywhere he can. And so, listen, I'm gonna let him brag a little bit.
Okay, I will say that. So I've been to Ryan Field 3 times, and there has been more red in the stadium than purple. And
that's any school that's going to be in Chicago, like Northwestern, is going to have more Big Ten fans at the game than we do. It's just how it is. There's just the number of alumni from other Big Ten schools in Chicago, and just the size of the alumni base of Northwestern, and the fact that a lot of Northwestern alums don't stay in Evanston. It's just how it is. And it's, it's something I knew coming into the school. I was like, I'm not going to get the same experience that you guys have at home games at Nebraska. It's Ryan Field, it's fun. It's not going to be Big Ten atmosphere, but definitely always a lot of away fans. You just got to expect it. So, I guess that's fun for people who are coming in. For us, it's kind of we just got to get as many people to show up as you can. But when you're up and down like this, like we are, it's hard to keep, retaining the number of people that want to come out.
Hey, you were up a lot more recently than we have. So,
I guess, and then we went down. So I can't even
I guess I'm a novice. Are there more sports teams in Chicago or in that area? I'd only heard of Northwestern.
No, you got Loyola basketball's got a decent following.
That's fair.
Yeah, and
I do root for Loyola. I'll give them that.
Yeah, Loyola's got a decent following. They're fun to watch in the tournament. I feel like anybody from around Chicago see that team go far. It's just good job. And then Sister Jean, so that's a whole nother layer to that. But I don't know. In terms of other schools that are that's probably the only team that jumps off the page. DePaul women's basketball as well. they've got a good program, I will say. But in terms of college sports, Northwestern's kind of got the whatever Chicago college sports market you can call it.
Yeah, they've got a chokehold on that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And look, we're fully aware as Nebraska fans that this is damn near the only thing we have. So look, you don't need to say that. We already know it, Sarah. All right.
It was a little mean,
No,
but I
you're all good.
understand it.
So you kind of alluded to that game last year, 56-7.
Yeah.
Highly unusual for these two teams. Would you say that that's a game that a lot of fans are like they have it in the back of their minds, or is it like so unusual that it's just like a blip and it almost didn't even like happen?
Yeah, like no way it could happen 2 years in a row.
No, I think it's definitely still fresh for sure. It was just, I think, given how early it was in the season compared to the rest and like what year we had come off of, and like the expectations were, they were lower than the year before, but they were still like relatively high. They were not anywhere 1-8 they were not a 1-8 Big Ten record. Like they were higher than that. Obviously that didn't happen, but I think that game really was like, oh, like crap. like we got some things to fix, some stuff's going on. I also think that game is where we really realized that like our defense, that was just ridiculous in 2020. Just once, like that was the moment where we were all like, oh, like this is not the same team as it was last year. And I think based on how the rest of the season went after that I think looking back was kind of the moment that was like, this is going to be an odd year Northwestern team. And I know for a fact that in the field house where they've been practicing, they've had the countdown towards game day on the board with the Nebraska logo, just like reminding the players, like
is it NU
last year? Like, and I think just from some media availabilities that I've been to, it's there at least for the players. So they're coming in thinking like this cannot happen again. Absolutely not. So
on that countdown board, is it NU or is it just an N?
It might have been, honestly, like the logo of the classic with both logos on, with both like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think it was that, but there was Nebraska, the N on there. It was there. It was looming.
It was there. It's there.
You had recently rated, you went through Northwestern schedule, and so your rating metric was 1 is the hardest, 12 is the easiest. Now you had Nebraska 8 out of 12, so basically just saying it's one of the easier ones.
Yeah.
Just kind of give your rationale for that.
When you get to kind of the middle of our schedule where it's, it's not Wisconsin, not Penn State, it's also not the non-conference games, like those games in the middle, like Purdue, Nebraska, and like this year for us, Maryland. Like for me, at least in my rankings, it was like it could have gone anyway. And I was just thinking like from what my rationale was, I had to put Maryland up there just because of their quarterback. I knew that like we've seen him rip defenses up, and that kind of was like, I feel like I can't bump him any lower. Purdue and Nebraska, I kind of was like 50-50, honestly. Like the only reason that I like might have ranked them lower is just because of how different your team looks than it did last year. I mean, but so does Purdue. So it's like, it was really just kind of like, for me, like, forget. And I think we had like an article where we explained the rankings. I think I said something like it was a toss-up for me between those two, because it's with just how the West has been the last couple of years, besides Wisconsin, like it's been so like I can't even tell you. And just because of how I haven't seen him play yet, we've also got decent amount of turnover too. So it wasn't like I am going to put Nebraska at number 8 because I think they are number 8. It was like this is just where I ended up putting them, and like they probably could have been 7. Probably, you know what I mean? Like it.
Yeah, it's always
it's tough.
Yeah, it's always a crapshoot. Like it's always usually decided in the last 2 minutes, and it's always by one score. And it's, it's like, how could you possibly predict what could happen? Like you never know.
So you mentioned that you guys have seen, just like Nebraska, a lot of turnover over the last season, whatever.
Yeah.
Where do you find that might be like the most concerning area in that turnover? Where do you find that you're a little bit more concerned? I mean, as Nebraska fans, we know exactly where we're concerned.
Yeah.
But what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, so for us, you're asking about Northwestern, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, the glaring, like, what the heck is going to happen is quarterback right now. He hasn't named a starter. We had a presser with him this morning. One of my writers then jumped on the call. He was like, I have to ask you. And he was like, I am not telling you today. So we got nothing. It's between Helinski, who played last year, and Brendan Sullivan, who's a redshirt sophomore. He has not seen a lot of playing time, but he's coming in. He's got a good track record from high school. There was a battle. There's been a battle. So it means that he's got something going on. So can't say I've seen anything from him that I can speak on, but the fact that he's competing says something. Helinski, the tough thing was that last year, because he transferred, he came late. He didn't really join the team fully until the summer. Coming out of the program, the conversation was that he wasn't really supposed to play last year. And then what happened was you have Hunter Johnson get hurt. Andrew Marty gets in there. There's injuries, inconsistency. Nobody really clicks with the offense. You throw Helinski in, who didn't have a full offseason with the team. And it just, no one really stuck. No one gelled with the offense. It was kind of like this rotation. And when you're rotating quarterbacks like that, it's hard to just like build a consistent offense, which was like one of our big issues last year. And then obviously the defense was not as good as it was the year before, even with Brandon Joseph, who Godspeed. We miss him, but he's on the big better things, and that's okay. So quarterback is definitely somewhere where I have zero clue how it's going to play out, and the hope is, I mean, given our when we won the West in 2020 and 2018, we had a consistent quarterback. That was like the one thing that was like for sure, like Peyton Ramsey and can't think of it right now, too many names, but you have a consistent quarterback when you have this winning season. So like for me, I'm hoping that whoever starts on Saturday can kind of be consistent in that position. I'll also say Brandon Joseph leaving, our secondary is somewhere, and linebacking, honestly, our whole secondary is kind of somewhere where there are holes, but there's also potential. There's a lot of young players who are coming up, and also some transfers coming in that I think could, make a difference. But until I see it play out, I don't really know. But those are kind of two areas where I think myself, along with a lot of people, are really just kind of waiting to see what happens and hoping that it's better than last year, because if it's not, there's some other things that need to be addressed.
So with quarterback being, one of those big positions that you're concerned about, if you had your choice right now, are you going with Helinski or who are you going with?
I mean, I haven't seen Sullivan play. I think that Helinski is definitely more experienced, obviously, at the college level, like playing time. He came into South Carolina as like this very highly rated quarterback. So it's there. Like there is talent there. It's there. And I think last year just he wasn't fully set up for success heading into the season. I would like to see what he can do with a better offseason, better preparation, better reps with the first team. I think our running back room and our wide receiving room, both of them are going to be pretty strong this year. And our line is, I think our offense outside of the quarterback is well set up to support him if he can work with them. So my hope, I would like to see him play at his full potential, because that's what we bought into when we took him in.
Yeah, and so I think going back to like the defense, you guys, it sounds like you guys kind of like had an overhaul on the defensive line, and we know that in like the Big Ten, the line of scrimmage is king. Whoever controls that usually kind of squeaks out a win or, is successful. 100%. So I guess with Joseph leaving, and then you look at the overhaul on the defensive line, which is something that Nebraska is also kind of going through right now, that kind of kind of gives me like an inkling that we might have a little bit of an edge on that. But then again, like Nebraska's going through the same thing, so it might be a weakness for us too.
Yeah. So our line, our defensive line, at least, we have Adetomiwa Adebawore, who really has kind of like shown out in the last year or so. I would not be surprised if at the end of this year he's a second, third round draft pick. I don't know if you guys saw like the freaks list. He got named on that. He's and from Fitz had a press conference today, so I'll kind of go over what he said. He was named a captain. Everybody calls him Tommy just because. So I'll talk about him that way. He was named a captain. Fitz was talking about how once the season ended in January, he really kind of took on a leadership role, and he's just been showing out, like pushing. So I'm excited to see what he can do. One other addition that I think for us could be like a big impact player is Ryan Johnson from Duke. I don't know, if he's getting reps with the ones or whatever, but I'm not in Evanston right now, but some of my staffers have gone to camp when they've had media availability, seeing him taking some reps and that he looks good. So I'm hoping that with that addition, we can fill, some of that hole that we have on the D line. And obviously Tommy is Tommy, but he can't do it all on his own. So having someone like Johnson step in, hopefully could, at least for us, put us in a better position on that front. Yeah,
for sure. So coming from Northwestern's offense, you could always kind of count on their running game. That's kind of their bread and butter. And of course, you were just talking about their stud D lineman, but they also have a stud O lineman as well, who might be a top 10 pick.
Yeah,
Skoronsky.
Yeah,
and you also have a 1,000-yard rusher back there, in Evan Hull.
Yep.
And they similar to Nebraska. The talk around here is we have 5 running backs and they could all reasonably play. You know how it is in the offseason. Everybody's a first-team All Big Tenner. But I mean, your guy had actually run for over 1,000 yards, and that was for a 3-9 Northwestern team. So, so what should Nebraska fans, and maybe I kind of didn't bury the lead there, but what should Nebraska fans be worried about when they're watching Northwestern?
So I think Evan Hull was extremely underrated last season. I think he completely motored that offense when we weren't having consistency at quarterback, and did what he could do. Obviously, as a running back, you're not going to be able to have as much command over an offense as a quarterback, but the way that the impact that he had, I think, was a very bright spot for us. I mean, and you said 1,000-yard rushing season. We haven't had a player like that since Justin Jackson, which is kind of a big deal. And, he, even though he barely cracked the 1,000-yard, imagine if, they'd made a bowl game or something like that, he would have even further past that. And we also have Andrew Clare from Bowling Green. He was also named a captain with Hull, which is a big deal. It says something about how he's come out of the team in just a year and made an impact as a leader. And he's kind of got, he was talking today about how the whole running back room kind of has, all of them have different strengths. And he is definitely a player who was very useful on kind of those, just when Hull, when they were figuring out how to stop Hull, they popped Clare in and he just, figures out how to muscle through. But I think that one thing that at least Northwestern fans are really excited about is Cam Porter. He's coming back. And that's a really big deal because of how he just, and the thing about Cam is that he, was kind of low on the depth chart his freshman year, slowly made his way up, had a crazy game at Illinois, and then ran all over Ohio State, which is not something that you see out of a true freshman very often. It's also not something you would expect. Say a lot of running backs could have had a good game against Illinois that year. Not a lot of running backs could have had a good game against Ohio State and then Auburn in a bowl game.
Exactly.
And having him come back and hearing what we're hearing out of camp about him being, pretty much as close to 100% as you can get, that's a really big deal for us, especially because we're not sure how the quarterbacking situation is going to play out, and having another weapon added to the running back room is just I think that there's a lot more talent there than we've had in a long time. So yeah, I would say if I'm a Nebraska fan, I'm definitely more worried about the run game than I am about the passing game at this point, until we see what happens with quarterbacking situation. So.
All right, fair enough.
So obviously this game is in another country, and most Nebraska Northwestern games are obviously a dogfight. Can you talk about the prep that Northwestern has taken for this particular game? I know we've heard a little bit on our side of things. What type of extra preparation has been in the works for the Northwestern football team to play in Dublin, Ireland?
Yeah. So I don't know much about prep before they head out. But they were talking a little bit about their kind of plan for the next week or so. They're heading out tomorrow. or not tomorrow, sorry. They're finishing their last practice tomorrow at home, heading out Wednesday. And then they're planning Thursday, Friday to get back to their regular schedule and hopefully have get back into the routine for 2 days before playing. And just coming from the players, they're all, taking it as a business trip until the game's over, which I think you guys can probably say the same for your players as well, because that's what they're told to say. And I'm sure that's the mindset because, it's a big game. There's going to be a lot of people watching Northwestern, Nebraska for a Northwestern, Nebraska game in week 0, which I think is cool. And I think that they are, obviously taking into account time change, things like that. And I don't know much of the logistics, but I know that they're very meticulously planning out the ways in which that they can make sure that the players are at their best given the circumstances from what I've heard. So that's what I can say about their preparation going forward. I don't know what they've been doing to help with jet lag or anything this week ahead, but yeah, that's what I can say.
Oh yeah, that's a big talk. Jet lag, lack of sleep,
I cannot imagine.
Going to Temple Bar, getting your Guinnesses.
Drinking all the Irish beer. That might be a problem.
I get it.
So Sarah, before we let you go, we must know your prediction for this game. Who wins? Give us a score. Give us something.
I mean, God, I would not be surprised if this is more of an offensive. I would not be surprised if this is a higher scoring game than I've predicted in the past, just based on what I'm hearing out of both offenses. I mean, you guys clearly have a solid quarterback coming in, so I'm expecting, us to get a little bit hammered back there, and I'm expecting our running game to do pretty well. I'm hoping. So I think our team is young, and I would give it a close. Let's go 35. I'm going to pick the Huskers. I am, because I'm going to be safe, and I'm going to be and I'm not going to be overexcited for myself. I'm also going to knock on wood, but I'm going to go Huskers. I would give them, Huskers 42, Northwestern 35. That's my prediction.
Wow. So, I mean, right now, Vegas has Huskers minus 13. You're saying cover that spread. Northwestern's going to get there. I'm betting my bank account on this, Sarah, so I need you to be confident.
I think they'll cover it. God, it's so tough. This team in my head I literally have zero idea what's going to happen this season. Zero.
Question marks.
Welcome
no
to
idea.
the club.
Same page, guys. It's what's going on? I mean, I don't even know who our quarterback is. And that's a whole lot. That depends on that right there. So any prediction I go in my head is but what if our quarterback is good? So if we have a good quarterback, we could go to a bowl game, but who knows? Oh yeah.
All right, guys, let's wrap this up. Sarah Effress, you can find all of her works at InsideNU.com. On Twitter at Sarah Effress. That's FFNSS, right?
Sure.
Is there anything else you want to plug? Get out there.
I mean, look, I got adding a bunch of staffers. I've got a lot of girls on my staff. First time in a long time that we've had.
Hell yeah, we love it.
So I'm excited for them, and thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate it. And you know what? We're kind of in the same boat, so let's have fun with this. It'll be a fun day.
Before you leave, Sarah, I just wanted to let you know you left a milestone here too. You are the first woman to come on our podcast.
Am I really?
So cheers to that.
All right.
Yeah. Cheers to you.
I don't know if you're drinking anything over there.
I'll cheers. I have an empty iced tea.
Cheers to you. We look forward to getting more inspiring women like yourself on here. And
thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
May the best NU win.
But you know what? Fair enough. That's ambiguous. I'll take it.
That's it.
All right, Sarah. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
No Block, No Rock is sponsored by our friends at Charlie Hustle. Charlie Hustle is on the road for 8 weeks for their college roadshow, and their next stop is Lincoln, Nebraska. That's right, Cornhusker fans. Charlie Hustle will be showing some love to our Huskers all week with a massive campus capsule launching this Friday, August 26th. Follow along with the roadshow through their social channels at Charlie Hustle Co. and go shop the drop on Friday at charliehustle.com. We've seen the collection, and we're sure that you guys are going to love it as much as we do. Let's show Charlie Hustle some love and show what that Husker pride is all about.
Thank you once again, Sarah Effress, for coming on No Block, No Rock. She gave her prediction. Let's give ours, guys. Let's go around. Myself, I will start. I am predicting a Nebraska win, 27-16.
Okay. Jared, you sipping Kool-Aid or what are you doing over there?
They didn't even cover in that one, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Kyle, what are you thinking?
I've got Nebraska winning 27-17, and I've got a missed PAT from Nebraska.
Okay, so I didn't know we are going to get into specifics. But hey.
I just tossed it in there.
He tossed
This
it
is a
in
bonus.
there. The old special teams.
He just remembered, oh yeah, they fucking sucked last year at special teams.
And even though we have a new kicker, a new punter, new returners, everything, and a special teams coordinator, Kyle still thinks they're going to miss a PAT.
And that's fine.
First game
It's
of the
okay.
season, brand new.
Yeah, the jitters, the Irish crowd is going to be going nuts.
That Irish air is going to be a little thin. It's going to be a little rainy. Shit happens.
Connor, what's your prediction?
So, at the risk of, being a little too far into the Kool-Aid here, I like Nebraska 35, Northwestern 14.
Okay.
I like the Huskers covering that minus 13, but Mike, what are you thinking?
See, I'm going to disagree with the old covering, but I will agree with the boys. Nebraska will win this game, but they're not going to cover. I believe Nebraska is going to win the game 35-24.
Okay. North Dakota at home. Win. Kyle.
Win.
Connor.
Oh, that's to me an easy win.
Easy win.
Okay.
I'm going to agree with you guys. I think, it's going to be a win.
I want to point out, and I know like every Husker fan in the entire world feels the same way I do. But literally during that North Dakota game, I'm at a wedding. And I want to be very clear that if you are a Husker fan, and especially if you're listening to this podcast, please, dear God, do not schedule your weddings during Husker games. You schedule during bye weeks.
No shit.
It's
Bye weeks, all the other months of the year that don't end with football season.
There are so many other months. Please, dear God, think of your friends. Your wedding really isn't about you. It is about the people that are there.
It's about the Scarlet and Cream, baby.
Yes, it's about the Scarlet and Cream. Please do not schedule your weddings during Husker football season.
How many times do we have to have this damn conversation and nobody listens?
Nobody fucking listens. They're bridezillas.
It's irresponsible.
And groom divas. Tobias.
Samantha Harder, you did good. Okay. Georgia Southern, another game at home. I will say that's another win.
I will agree.
Win.
I'm going to say another win. I think we better win those two games.
So far, we're at 3-0.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this is a game that a lot of people say, hey, if you're going to get them any year, this is the year to do it. A lot of people are, in fact, picking Nebraska to win this game. So Oklahoma at home, I'm going to say it is a loss until I see them beat a team that is, actually better than them. I'm going to still say it's a loss. So I'm at 3-1. Kyle?
I'm going to say it's a win.
Wow.
All right, baby.
Kool-Aid King himself.
So I think there are a lot of questions. There's been a lot of change on that Oklahoma program over the last year, obviously. I think from what I've seen, which to be fair is, somewhat minimal, I do think that the Oklahoma game is a win for Nebraska.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, I guess we'll just split it right there. I'm going to say that Oklahoma's program is in a way better spot than Nebraska at this moment. I pray to God we can pull out a win there, but I'm going to say that we lose that game.
Okay, just to clarify, and I have to do this because I promised to shout out to my cousin Jordan.
What's he paying us?
Jordan in Oklahoma, nothing. Half the time he doesn't even show me love, but
Wait, is Jordan a Husker fan?
No, he lives in Oklahoma. He's a Sooners fan.
All right, bleep the rest of this out.
But I asked him, what are they projecting to be a strong point, and what are they projecting to be a weakness for them? He said, one, the attitude. He thinks that Brent Venables is running things. The players will come with an attitude and be focused, blah, 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 blah. Number two, quarterback, wide receivers look to be clicking very well. Lots of weapons and depth. And then the concerns, this is a very new team. Almost every single person on staff is new, plus a lot of players went to the draft, transferred. But they also transferred a lot of people in, which was one of the biggest reasons why I chose us to win that game. Number two, And then the other concern was can BV change the defense drastically in a couple of months, because according to him, it was very bad last year.
What was your cousin's name?
Jordan.
Jordan, thanks for the submission. Unfortunately, I'm gonna be very excited if/when we beat you.
There you go. There you go. Okay. We'll send the invoice in the mail for that advertisement.
Yeah.
That was not a free plug.
It is only a few $100s.
Okay, guys. So after Oklahoma, there's a bye week, and then you have Indiana at home. This is a team that won less games than Nebraska did last year. So
how?
Because they stunk. Okay, that's why I think this will be a win for Nebraska. It's a home game. God damn it if you don't win. Holy shit. So far I'm at 4-1.
Okay, I've got that game as a win as well. So I'm at 5-0.
Wow.
Ooh, baby.
Connor?
So this is I think it's reasonable. Like, we all know as Husker fans that there are games that we know we should win that we don't. And I do honestly believe that this is we start off on that 4-0, and this is where we get humbled. I'm going to call it a loss.
Okay. Yeah, Indiana, I'm going to say that we take care of business, and we will also be 4-1 after that game.
Okay.
So we're all sitting at 4-1 right now? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Except
Kyle's
for
5-0.
Kyle, I'm 5-0.
Oh, yeah.
5-0. We got Kool-Aid Central
Yeah,
over
my
there.
Lord.
Okay.
Kool-Aid, sponsor this man.
Oh, yeah. So after Indiana, it is a short week. The boys travel to New Jersey to play the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, the Fighting Shianos. I think this will be their humble game. I think they will catch the L on this one. Even though Rutgers is coming off a tough game versus Ohio State, I'm going to say this one is going to be a loss, and they're going to be at 4-2 after this.
Boy, I feel like I'm going to get hung from the rafters right now.
6-0.
I knew it was coming.
It's all right, baby.
I've got this as a W. 6-0.
Of course you do.
I'm not going to mince words here. This is a no-brainer dub for me.
Okay, no-brainer dub. See, I'm going to use the point that Jared just made, but I'm going to take it another way. I think Rutgers comes off a tough game against Ohio State, and it's a very physical game. I think they are tired. It's a short week. They have to play Nebraska at home, and I think Nebraska gets the job done. So I'm going to say that's a win by Nebraska. 5-1 right now.
So we got 2 5-1s, 1 4-2, and 1 6-0.
You betcha.
Okay. So after the game at Rutgers, they go to Purdue. This is a team that Nebraska lost to last year. Wasn't a particularly pretty game by our starting quarterback that game. This is a game on the road, so I'm going to have them actually pulling this one out with a win, and they will be at 5-2. Kyle?
I have this actually as a loss.
Okay.
Purdue is just strange, man. Purdue just seems to just randomly just come out and just beat somebody they're not supposed to beat. And it seems like for the history of Nebraska, Purdue is someone that we should just automatically beat. But they got some dogs over there, and the coaching staff over there is good. So yeah, I've got that as a loss.
I have to agree with Kyle here. They got that dog in them. As much as I think Nebraska this year should really beat Purdue, I am going to mark it as an L. And I'm going to put them at 5-2 as of that point.
Well, Purdue, I guess we're going to have a majority here. I don't think we win that game. I think Jeff Brom is a better coach at this time.
Sure.
And maybe when we get down the road a little bit, I will feel different about this game. But, I mean, just looking at this team and looking at where Purdue is at as a program, I think that Jeff Brom right now is a better coach. And I think that since the game is on the road, I think Purdue gets it done. And I think Nebraska will end up at 5-2 going into Illinois.
I do want to point out that I think that Purdue game will be close, but I don't think Nebraska wins that.
Close loss.
Yeah.
Okay.
Linning.
Look, like we said, like I've said on TikTok, man.
TikTok king.
Purdue is one of those teams that is a dark horse to win the West.
Yep.
They got Brom, they got O'Connell back.
they're just so
You know.
unpredictable.
Yeah.
Like you
They're
don't
volatile.
You don't know if they're going to show up and be, like to put it frankly, dog shit, or if they're going to come out and just take somebody to the woodshed.
Yeah.
They are so inconsistent. Like their highs are incredibly high and their lows are like beneath the basement. They can go low, but they're not a team to like not, consider, being a little bit scared about.
Yeah, I just until this staff can win the games they're supposed to win, I would put that as a game that you should start beating these teams. The teams that don't, we'll say it, the schools that don't take football serious and as their primary sport, you shouldn't be losing to teams like this. But until they do it, I can't give them a win. I would love to. I mean, I want them to win all the games, but
sure,
it's one of those things. It's like until you prove me wrong.
Yeah,
come on.
Which is funny because I did 2 or 3 of us say that we'd beat Oklahoma, and there are 3 of us saying that Purdue is, a scary game.
Oklahoma was split, and until you prove to beat a ranked team, I don't care if it's on the road, I don't care if it's at home, I don't care if you have a 10-point lead to start the game. Until you prove that you can win the game when the clock strikes 0, I mean, I can't take you.
21-6, they were up versus Iowa.
Yes,
and did not work out for them. So prove it, damn it. Okay, Mike mentioned the next game is Illinois at home. The Fighting Birds. I'm gonna say they're gonna be at home. I think this is where you start to see the sphincter. It's a home game. Burt beat you last year. I think this is where you start to see things tighten up, and they're gonna lose this one, 5-3, and they're gonna be 5-3 after this game.
Okay, so for Illinois, I think last year there was a little bit of weight to the fact that nobody knew what the fuck Illinois was going to be doing. They came out totally flat, though. There was a lot of errors made, which is why we ended up losing that game. But I don't think there's any mystery behind it this year, and I think they come out with a W.
I am going to be incredibly blunt on this one. I think this is a revenge game for last year. Absolute dub. It will be commanding and it will be mean.
I'm gonna agree with you here, though. I mean, Connor, I think that Nebraska takes care of Burt handily.
Burt.
I think the game last year in Champaign, because I had to travel and invest my money to watch that loss on the road.
Right.
I think that they know that and they're going to take care of business finally.
Okay.
Yeah,
and it's another one of those things. Basketball school. You should not be losing. That football is your bread and butter, baby. You should not be losing to basketball schools in football.
I think
take care of business.
I think this year will be an absolute commanding win. I think there is a little bit of not hatred, but a little bit of anger behind what happened last year, and it's time to fix that.
Okay, so after they play Illinois, they have a home game versus the Fightin' Flex of Minnesota.
PJ Fluke.
I see Minnesota's running game, and this is the point in the year where teams start to lean on you, especially if you don't have good interior D-line. I'm a little worried about that interior D-line, and I think Minnesota kind of has their way on the ground, and I think Nebraska's going to lose, and they're going to be at 5-4.
Okay, I will agree with you totally, and you'll kind of see the rest of my predictions for the rest of the year go with the leaning on the interior D-line. But Minnesota is an L for me.
I think I would agree with you guys. I think this is a game that we've noticed Minnesota is every bit of who we think they are. They are not a joke. I'm hesitant to call this. I'm going to call it an L. But if it is an L, I promise that I'm going to give PJ Fleck an L, and I will fight him personally.
God, dude.
I'm with you there. Nobody at this table likes PJ Fluke.
Fuck him.
Unfortunately, he is Scott Frost's daddy, and
for now,
I think he comes into Lincoln and pisses in the Cornhusker Cheerios.
Damn.
Unfortunately, I mean, I think so. That kind of sucks that all 4 of us said that we lose to Minnesota because that's a trend.
It's what we've seen.
Hey,
it's just what we've seen.
Honestly, for everyone listening right now, I want to be clear that I think everyone at this table really wants all of us to be wrong.
Well, 100%.
Well, dude, if anything, the people that are picking Nebraska to win against Minnesota, they're the irrational ones, because
you have to understand we're not going 12-0.
It happened the first year, right? Scott Frost kicked Fleck's ass. Since then, it's been a rout pretty much every time. And
well, yeah,
he's 1-3 against Fleck. I mean, I'm sorry if you're picking. Oh, it's going to be easy. Stop, please, God.
Well, and the year that did it for me was when they were missing every freaking player on their team.
They said they were missing like 30+ people due to COVID.
Yeah, and they still come into Lincoln and they still come out with a win with a backup quarterback and the fifth-string running back.
And it was a one-score loss, but that game never felt close.
No.
So here's one thing that actually kind of got me excited today was looking at, I believe it was Mike Farrell that put out the rankings of Big Ten coaches. And the one thing that got me really, really excited was the fact that Scott Frost was ranked 14. Team of Destiny.
Oh, boy.
This is the year. I think this is the time. Like, you set us in this absolute trough. Right?
Do you think that's why he was sliding down the railing? He's like,
oh, yeah. No,
haters going to hate.
I love dropping Scott Frost at 14 because, I mean, like, not to say there's no pressure on Scott Frost.
I mean,
but now, like, even if you get, like, mediocre success, he looks like a fucking king.
Because he's set the bar so damn well.
Yeah. And so I love it. I think we've lit the fire under the Husker program, or at least I fucking hope so.
Okay, so after the Minnesota game, they go to Ann Arbor and visit the Michigan Wolverines. Hopefully not freezing our ass off. Or I hope we're not all unanimous in this L, but
I have a feeling we are.
They will end up at 5-5 after this game because I think they will not win. They will lose.
I agree. So I am sitting at 7-3.
Still pretty good.
Pretty good. I'm happy with it.
Hell yeah.
Not just for the sake of content, and I want to be very clear that's not what I'm doing here.
Oh.
You know, initially I was going to call this an L. I was going to say Michigan, obviously an established program. They have incredible talent walking through that door every goddamn day.
Pretty much.
They are blue chip. I mean, Nebraska, we all acknowledge is a blue chip program. We do, but we're kind of on that back end.
Yep.
But I'm gonna call that game. Fuck the big house. Nebraska walks in and gets a very small win. I'm talking 3 points. Nebraska gets that motherfucker done.
Hey, that might be a small win, but that'd be a
big
huge
win.
Fucking win.
Huge.
I'm calling that Michigan game a win for Nebraska.
Okay.
All right, baby.
So do you remember the last time Scott Frost was in the big house?
It wasn't pretty.
I imagine it's going to be something like that, unfortunately. I don't think Nebraska gets it done in Ann Arbor.
I think I know why Kyle's cringing over here, because that was Frost's first year, and I already know what you're going to say, but let me know if I'm wrong. That was the game that Frost said, look, they just have dudes over there that are on a different planet physically, and you walk in, you know, it's like the all-bus team. You're going to lose that game.
Right. But before you go into your point,
Kyle,
I want you to know that I think Michigan's on a different level than Nebraska is right now. I'm not saying that it's a huge talent deficit, but I'm saying that Michigan made the college football playoff last year. And yes, it was a close game in Lincoln.
It was.
I'd say that was closer to a trap game than actually a close game. And I just think that Harbaugh's got a little extra swagger. I think he was like, hey, you know, I didn't take a job in Minnesota this year. I came back to my alma mater. Let's go get it done again. Let's go beat that team.
Yeah, Jared, you were right. And I've made this point in the past, was we just got absolutely fucking manhandled in that game because we just weren't prepared physically.
Men versus boys.
I just can't, especially after last year, you played a fantastic Ohio State team, a fantastic Michigan team. You played, Oklahoma, like teams that we used to get bullied by just because we weren't physically up to par. I do totally agree their talent is they're on a different level than Nebraska is.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it's going to be as easy of a win as Michigan thinks it is. They are at home, which will definitely help, but I just don't think it's going to be easy.
So that's a deciding factor. When you're in the big house, 100,000 fans screaming in your face. Not saying Casey has not experienced that yet. We know for a fact if Adrian would experience that, that would have been very rough. But we haven't seen Casey do it in a Nebraska uniform. I just, right now, gut feel, not going to be pretty.
So the other thing that I really want to talk about, like specifically, like I guess not specifically for this game, but for the season as a whole, is, and I don't know what your guys' feelings on it are, but I'm riding high on this new coaching staff. I think we have put the right guys in the right positions. And I think that, like, you know, when we look at the athletes themselves, I think we've seen an increase in talent. You know, we lost some significant players on the defense. But when we look at our coaching staff, I find them to be so much more capable than what we've had in the last 4 to 5 years.
You're also asking a pretty damn significant turnaround, and I mean, they haven't
short amount of time.
They haven't been here for a year yet.
Yeah,
I just want to know who's going to block.
It's a big ask.
Who's going to put that defensive line?
It's a big ask, but I see the talent that we've brought in, and the like as a player, and the talent we've brought in as coaches, and I find that combination to be very positive.
I think the history of Scott Frost's tenure here has been the little details.
Yep.
Have fucked Nebraska every single year. And when you bring in people like Mickey Joseph and you bring in people like Mark Whipple, those little details, I think that is where your capabilities kind of get on an even playing field instead of rocking with coaches that have never coached in a Power 5 program. You know what I mean?
While they're like minor contributions, quote unquote, I mean, they like those minor contributions can stack on top of one another and create a very large impact.
Yeah, that's my hopes for the new coaching staff, is that the little details are getting ironed out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so we went on a spiel there. That's fine. I mean, good points were made. Wisconsin at home. I made the point about the interior D-line. I can't go back on that point and contradict myself. So Braylon Allen, Wisconsin has their formula, the Alvarez formula. Nebraska will lose this game, in my opinion, and they will end up at 5-6.
Yep, I agree with you. Again, to the point of the leaning on the defensive line. I'm not high on Graham Mertz at all. He had a nice year in 2020, but 2021 showed kind of his true colors. I've got Wisconsin winning, and that puts me at 7-4.
The beauty about Wisconsin is they don't need Graham Mertz.
Yep.
They can just have a dude, hey, Braylon, take the ball. Sorry.
And if he has just the smallest increment of improvement from 2021, that's already going to help them out in the long run.
It's funny you touched on the exact point I was going to go to. I frankly think Graham Mertz is ass, but Nebraska does take that L.
Okay.
Do you have the record off the top of your head what you have so far or not?
I am also 7-4.
Okay.
So you're 7-4. I'm going to be saying we lose this game, and I'm going to be sitting at 6-5 going into Black Friday against Iowa.
At Iowa.
I'm just saying Braylon Allen is a man-child. I mean, finally he had his birthday. I think he's finally over the age of 17.
He can finally vote.
Right. Yeah. So good for him. But that guy is a freak. And
indeed,
we witnessed him firsthand. I mean, he is a absolute monster. And I don't give a shit if you're Nebraska, if you're Ohio State, if you're Alabama, you're going to have trouble with that guy. And like I said, who's going to play defensive line this year until they show up and prove it? We lost a lot of depth there. I don't see it. Games are won in the trenches. And unfortunately, that's an L, and that's 3 L's in a row on my list.
Oh yeah.
Minnesota, Michigan, Wisconsin.
Same.
The meat and potatoes of the schedule.
Yep. We always knew November was going to be scary. And that's, God damn it. It's gonna be 8 in a row. Iowa is gonna win this freaking game. And Nebraska's gonna be at 5-7 in my opinion, and I don't think they'll make a bowl.
Okay. I have the 7-year streak coming to an end. I think that offense is going to fucking bow down to Nebraska's defense. And again, if you just have the smallest increment of improvements in the little details of your game. Nebraska doesn't lose that game in 2021. This year, if you can just get the smallest improvement on the little details, Nebraska walks away with a W, and that makes my final prediction 8-4.
So I had hours before we got on this podcast, I had a 3-hour phone call with an Iowa journalist.
Jeez.
Yeah, 3 hours. And it was very fun. I'm sure she is listening right now because I'm going to text her about this when I'm done with this. But we talked about what we thought the pros and cons were of each team. And both of us agreed that this is the year that streak ends.
Yeah.
She was not confident in Iowa. I am irrationally confident in Nebraska in that game. Just looking at, how Nebraska has adjusted or looking at adjusting our offense, I think I call this a dub, and I think I call it probably a 10 to 14 point dub. And that leaves me at 8-4.
Okay. On the road, Black Friday, Iowa City. Those fans will be jumping in your face,
waving,
and being assholes like they are, because I've been there multiple times, and they are assholes.
There was a 15-year-old girl that tried to fight me inside of Kinnick Stadium. And that's not a joke. She was literally 15.
Kinnick Stadium is not shit. Here's my thing. On my list right now, I have Nebraska losing to Iowa. But fuck Kurt Ferentz.
Well, yeah.
Fuck Iowa.
Sure.
Nebraska gets it done. And Scott Frost is going to save his job and finish 7-5 this year. That's what I have. My gut says we're going to freaking lose. But my heart says we are going to get it fucking done, and they're going to win it to save Scott's job at 7-5, and they make a fucking bowl game.
That heart that's pumping fucking Kool-Aid.
So
there's no Kool-Aid pumping.
Mike, I think that's a great transition, and I got to ask. I know we've talked about this before, but you say Scott Frost saves his job at 7-5. What, Jared, I'll give it to you first.
Okay.
What is the safe record? Like right now, what do you feel is the safe record for Scott Frost to continue to stay here?
On record.
Safe record. On the record. I don't think 6-6 will be good enough.
You don't?
I don't. Now, I'm conflicted about this because they've been so not good for so long that I just feel like if you ask this team, and yes, there's different players, different coaches, but it is still the head guy after all. If you ask and demand that this team win twice as many games as they did the year before, I just don't think that's fair. But I'm trying to think, I'm putting myself in Trev Albert's head right now. And I think if he sees 6-6 with this, quote, easy schedule, he's going to say, year 5, not good enough. I'm going in my drawer, getting my list of names. And he probably has, he has a list already. But I think 6-6 is not going to save his job, even though it probably should. But it's not going to, in my opinion.
That's why I said the Iowa game, 7-5, deciding factor. You end the year on that high. You beat your rivals. Yes, it's a fucking rivalry game. You beat your rivals, and you say they win it for their head coach. That's what I'm saying. 7-5 saves his job.
I think 7-5 is an incredibly reasonable ask. But no, I think I agree with Jared in the sense that 6-6 is not good enough. I think the safe mark for me would be 7-5. I reasonably think that 8-4 is within the realm of possibility. Will it happen? That's not entirely up to me. But yeah, I think unless you get 7 wins, Scott Frost is really, really on the hot seat.
There has never been a season where you ask 2 fans how they're going to do. One fan says 3-9 again. The other fan says 9-3. And you're not going to look at either of them and go, you're fucking crazy.
Right.
Like, this is the first
Floor and
season.
Ceiling.
It's like, it's so, the realm of possibilities are so wide, and it's insane.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. Kyle, what do you think? What is your safety level for Scott Frost?
We hate this word, close. Ding.
Ding. Everybody drink.
I think 7-5. If there's one blowout in there or something like that, 7-5 is the only safe option. If you get absolutely fucking destroyed by Michigan, 7-5 will kind of save you, right, and move you on to the next year, go to a bowl game, do all that other stuff.
Right.
Now you go 6-6, but you play Michigan close. Maybe you lose to Oklahoma. You play Oklahoma close. That's my opinion, Mike. I know you're shaking your head.
Yeah, Mike is shaking violently.
But what I'm saying is, the only reason Scott Frost is still here is because he didn't lose one game last year by more than single digits.
Yeah,
that's the only reason he's here right now.
And everybody,
go on now.
Close Kyle is back.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
And guess what? Close losses are not the same thing as wins.
And Mike, I'll go back to the fucking point that I always go back to. If I had to sit through a 3-9 season where we lost to Michigan by 50 points and then lost to Ohio State by 40 points, I would be fucking devastated.
Right.
Now, if we went 6-6, going to a bowl game, got real close to beating the top teams in the conference, I would be okay with that. If we went 7-5 and got blown out by Michigan, you still won 7 games, you're still going to a bowl game, and you're still going into the next year with a little bit of hope that it might get better. And you can't argue that.
If you go 6-6 or 7-5 and your blowout losses are to Oklahoma, Michigan, Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, like if you lose ugly, but you still win 7 games, how do you feel about that? That's what I want to know.
I just told you. 6-6, and we're close with all the high echelon teams that we've been talking about. Then I feel pretty good moving into the next year.
But this is an easy schedule. This is the easy schedule.
But I'm saying if you get blown out by the high echelon teams at 7-5, say one blowout loss to Michigan, right? And 7-5, you still won 7 games. You're still going to a bowl game. You're still moving on to the next year with a little bit of hope that it might get better. We're still looking good. 6-6, you stay real close to those high echelon teams. It evens out.
I think he's gone. He already had his close year. His close year was 2021. He's gone.
Yeah. I think that I might be the only fan in the entire world, like the only one that looked at that last 3-9 season and wasn't that mad. I wasn't that mad. It sucks. I mean, we took 9 L's. And I know we talk about, I know Mike is going to lose his mind when I say this. Mm-hmm. But that Linning, it means something. It means something.
It means nothing.
It means something.
It means you can't coach.
Dude, we, like, leading into that season, like, I'm going to put it blatantly honest. For every Nebraska fan out there, I'm going to be very direct. We were dog shit.
No,
and we went up and we played 3 ranked teams and the big, like 3 in the top 15. And the biggest L we took was by 9 points. I understand that we lost some of those players. I understand that an L is an L, but that means something. And that's showing, like, I understand we're going to a new coaching staff, but we are creating a culture that matters. We are getting better. And I understand, like, Mike, I can see him just chomping at the bit over here.
I don't have to jump at the bit. Those 9 points, this thing you keep saying is deceiving. There was games that we scored
30-9.
Yes. The last second scores to make it look closer than it actually was.
Wait, so do those points not matter?
No, they don't matter. You still lost the game.
No, they do matter.
I don't care if you lose 100-0 or you lose 13-12. They're the same fucking thing. They show up in the record book the same.
That is
Scott Frost.
Insane. No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they're different numbers.
No,
they show up differently.
They show up with the same letter. L.
That's
he
an
lost.
Insane statement.
That is. You know what the difference between a good coach and a great coach and a shit coach? Winning the games when it matters. Winning those close games.
Every game matters.
When the details matter.
Every game matters.
Mike, I just want to ask you this, okay? You're a fan of Bo Pelini, right?
Yes.
Was he a good coach?
Yes.
And he was losing by 50 points.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with him losing by 50 points. But he won games.
You put that headset on, Kyle. You don't take the headset off.
Your argument right now, you are saying that Scott Frost losing and going 3-9 was a better year than Bo Pelini going 9-3 every year, but
not
losing.
What he said.
No, I'm literally telling you
That's not what he said.
That if we went 7-5 and got blown out by one team, right?
You
Michigan.
said 6-6.
Yeah.
No,
You said 6-6.
if we went 7-5 and we got blown out by one team, I would feel confident that was good enough to keep Scott Frost's job.
If you went 7-5 and was good,
and all I said was if you went 6-6 and you kept the scores close against the higher echelon teams, that would be good enough to move Scott Frost forward.
that's where I disagree. 6-6 is not acceptable at a Blue Bar program.
Am I missing something?
My man, Kyle, I'm with you here.
Jared, you've been sitting here ingesting all of this. Can we get an opinion?
Well, look, I'm always gonna lean towards like what Mike's argument is in its essence, right? The whole close shit. So now look. I'm just gonna throw this out there, okay? In 2018, my second favorite team, the Army Black Knights, they stroll into Norman, Oklahoma.
Go Navy.
Shut up. And they lose to Oklahoma in overtime. It was a close game. Is Army football back? Are they contenders because they played a really good team close? It's like it's such a fine line between, hey, this team played a really good game, and maybe that other squad that we talk about, they have players, they have coaches, all on scholarship, right? It's like, at what point can you just not be close? But it's always such a fine freaking line. So is Army back? Is Army football back? Because they played Oklahoma close in that game.
No, hold on. I love that
and Kansas beat Texas last year. I know Texas is not the same Texas, but is Kansas back? Are they on the way?
I love that you're sticking on that point. Like, is Kansas back? Is Army back?
Right.
Kyle and I aren't here saying that Nebraska's back. We're saying that, like,
we would rather lose by single digits than lose by 50.
We're not saying that we're a powerhouse right now.
No, you're saying you would rather win less games.
That's not an.
But as long as they're close,
That is-
it's okay to keep your. It's okay. Like that's what you're saying.
No,
you're saying you would rather win less games. I would rather win more games and get blown my ass out.
My brother in Christ, we were the highest expectations for the Huskers. We both
put us at 8-4.
Right. I'm not saying your
What do you mean?
expectations are way too high, but
so when we talk about like a loss, as long as it's close and we're competing,
that's not okay. That's not. I've made that clear multiple times on this podcast. Winning close losses are not okay.
We're going to take losses.
We are going to lose games. That is 100% a real thing.
Mike.
But a good coach.
Would you rather lose by a lot?
I would rather have a different head coach.
Would you rather?
I would rather have a different head coach.
That's not the question.
Than lose close games.
That's not the question we're asking.
We are asking if Scott Frost should keep his job if he goes 6-6. If he goes 6-6 and has close losses again, that tells me that he is not fit to be a head coach in college football. Or I'm sorry, at a Power 5 level.
That's key.
But Bo Pelini should have kept his job losing by 40 points.
He won
to
9
Wisconsin
games every single year.
Bo Pelini beat teams that he was supposed to beat.
He wins the games he's supposed to win. Thank you.
He did.
All the games we talked about today, Illinois, Purdue, Minnesota, right? He won all those games. You don't have to think about, I don't know. No, you knew you were going to win those games. Northwestern.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
Was not 10 years ago.
No, it was literally, he got fired in 2014. It's been 8 years.
8 years. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it's not 10 years ago.
But okay, so like
Kyle, I'm on your side here still.
But you guys have to also imagine, right? If Scott Frost wasn't from Wood River, Nebraska, would he be here?
No.
That's not the question.
Like, I know.
Again, not the question.
But this is your
Kyle,
justification. This is your justification for keeping him around, though.
No, I'm simply looking at the record. That's all I'm looking at.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the team. I don't give a fuck if it's Scott Frost, Bo Pelini, Mike Riley. I don't care who it is.
But you're saying that Bo Pelini was a bad coach because he got blown out in 3 games.
He's not saying Bo Pelini was a bad coach.
I've literally been on record on every single podcast that we have every episode we've ever talked about Bo Pelini, I've always said he should have kept his job.
Yeah, he's not saying that Bo
But you're using Bo Pelini as the example.
Just to counter your argument.
But that's not a good counter because I'm saying that 6-6 is Bo Pelini never sniffed 6-6. Bo Pelini could wake up drunk tomorrow and coach a better game than Scott Frost.
No, that was Carl.
Well, that too.
Both of them.
Both of them could coach a game better than Scott Frost.
Listen, on a molecular level, Mike, I want you to think about this before you just blow up, okay? I just want you to think about this, okay? On a molecular level,
Mike is going to die.
Would you rather be completely blown out, or would you like to lose by 7 points? I'm not asking you if you'd like to lose, okay?
No one likes to lose.
I'm asking you if you'd like to be blown out by 40 points against Michigan in 2018,
but win more games.
Would you like... We didn't lose more games that year. Would you
win more games?
But win more games.
Would you...
Dude, literally everyone...
I see where you're going, but I'm saying, you were saying that going 6-6 with close losses versus getting blown out and going 7-5, you would rather do that. I would rather go 7-5 because we won more games.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to reiterate this just for everyone listening. You would rather go 7-5 and get blown out in losses,
yes,
than go 6-6,
yes,
and have your 6 losses
and be
close.
competitive.
Yes,
Mike, you're a fucking idiot.
Why am I crazy? Because we won 7 games.
You're an idiot.
I don't think he's an idiot.
That's
I'd
insane.
I'd rather have more dubs.
I would rather have more wins.
Listen,
but you just get blown out in those losses.
All right, guys. We had. All right, guys.
That was the most intense argument I think we've ever had.
I need
argument.
Kyle to sit down because I'm very nervous right
now. Put your headset on.
I think Kyle's going to hit Mike.
Here's what we're going to agree. Getting blown out by Iowa 40-10 on Black Friday is embarrassing.
Yes.
Being up 21-6 and knowing that you're still going to lose is also embarrassing. Agreed.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, there was some hesitation there, you fuckers. Yes.
How is there any? That
was like 3 seconds of you sitting there. Okay. No, we're just closing this out, right?
Okay. We just need to win more games. That's it. Win games, and none of this discussion has to happen.
Mike's season,
damn it! You just
Mike's season preview: Nebraska.
Okay,
12-0 national championship.
So just real quick, I said 5-7,
8-4,
7-5,
8-4.
Okay, so barring injuries and other things.
Yeah.
There's other things that happen in the season, okay?
These predictions brought to you prior to the season starting.
Okay. Go to NBNRpodcast.com. There you will find all our episodes, all our past guests. We have a YouTube. We have a Twitter at NBNR Podcast. A TikTok. Yeah, shut up, Connor. There's a TikTok on there. We have merch on our website, NBNRpodcast.com. Please go there, buy our merch. We have some awesome designs. We got hats being flaunted around this table, and they look damn good. So please buy those. Spotify, give us a 5-star review. Give us a download. Apple Podcasts, we need as many 5-star reviews as you're willing to dole out. We need those. And quite frankly, we fucking earned them.
Yeah.
Didn't we, Kyle?
Sure did.
And
hit the download episode. Hit the download. Come on.
Yes. And again, we want to thank Herd at Sports. Shout out to them. And Charlie Hustle for being a proud sponsor of the No Block, No Rock podcast. Guys, let's sign off. I'm one of your hosts, Jared Hall.
Kyle Byers.
Mike Delaware.
And Connor Cadillac.
And as always, 5 days beaten Northwestern and GBR.
A Huda Media Production.